Hey there, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Phil. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, whether it be random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough, review, re-review, or whatever randomness, feel free. I will get to as soon as I possibly can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. Now, Phil had sent in a request for me to do a review of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but I had already talked about the film, so I figured what I would do is do things a little bit different. And 10 things that I liked about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I kind of delve into not so much the specific plot, but as to why this film works compared to other video game adaptations or video game movies and so forth. So, first and foremost, before I start, video game movies, they do get a bad rap for a decent reason. I mean, there's a lot that have been made that I was not a fan of. But when I really think about it, there's actually more that I liked than one would think. I liked the Super Mario Brothers from 1993. I liked that film. I got a whole set up there from Umbrella Entertainment. I liked how unique and different it is. I liked Mortal Kombat. I still think that's the best one from the 90s. I enjoyed Doom. It's not the definitive Doom, but as an R-rated creature feature film, I like Carl Urban. I like some of the action. I like some of the effects. I liked some of the music by Clint Mansell. Carl Urban, say it twice, he's awesome in it. And Dwayne Johnson is actually playing a different type of character, which he rarely does nowadays. So, as a Doom movie, it's not that good. As a movie that's about creatures, it's a bit too slow in the first half, but I overall do like it. The first Lara Croft Tomb Raider, I enjoy that film. Even, the new Super Mario Brothers movie, I liked it for what it was. And the Sonic the Hedgehog films, I liked all three. The first one, didn't think much before it came out. I think most people felt that way when the original trailer, and it's strange. It's crazy when you see how far it has come from that original trailer with Gangsta's Paradise playing, the terrible designs, the scrawny, trying to be like real hedgehog and the teeth, and how god-awful that design was and how it made a big spiel on the internet. And people wonder, why complain about it? Just take it. Just eat it up. No. This is a perfect example as to why you don't do that. People complained, and to give all the credit to the people behind the scenes and the director, as well as all those animators that, for what I understand, that company, I don't know if it went belly up or those animators, like, they really got to the bone, worked, stressed. I'm sure it was not the greatest time, but I appreciate their hard work. And then the film came out, and who's to say if that's the only thing they changed? They might have changed other stuff as well, but that alone was extensive, and they had a hit film. Yeah, the second film, which I liked, granted, I do not like the whole wedding spiel that felt like it went on for 20 minutes, but I did like it. Like the introduction of Tails, and Knuckles, and still fun to be had with Sonic 2. Now, when the third film was coming out, I had doubts. I had doubts because how long can this go on? I had issues with the second film. Is that going to be a factor in the third film? How many times do we have Sonic on Earth? How many times can we not have these crazy, unique environments like in the game? Are we finally going to ease out the human characters? Very much had doubts. Plus, Keanu Reeves and sequels, I was disappointed in John Wick 4. I know a lot of people like that film. I was incredibly disappointed in it. I hate Bill and Ted's Face the Music. I think that's a piece of shit. this was a nice surprise. It was a nice surprise when I first saw it. I did watch it again for this video. It was still a fun, nice surprise. Probably my favorite of the three. But I like all three. They're a good triple feature. And yes, I will say I look forward to what is next. I do. I would say I look forward to Sonic 4. Obviously with this film. And of course, heavy spoilers if you haven't seen it. Starting out, heavy spoilers. They introduce the robot Sonic. They introduce Amy. How that is employed in the next one, I don't know. But Sonic 3 was a nice surprise. Now, to get into the title, 10 things I liked about this film. I didn't put in any specific order. Number 1, Keanu Reeves, who voices Sonic. I thought, man, you know, that would be a cool voice, but who knows if they would ever get him. And lo and behold, they did get him. A lot of people were excited for it. It was a great fit. You could definitely tell there's a little bit of John Wick in there. The bit early on when he's walking in the rain, walking in the rain, seemed like something John Wick would be doing. The look, the rain caressing across the face in slow-mo. And Keanu Reeves, I thought, did a good job employing this character with that sad, lost, unsure quality that Shadow would have. And I thought his line readings worked well for the film. His certain cadence, I think, worked well for the Shadow character. I don't look like you, you look like me. Now, there's more to the character, which I'll get to later, but just his performance, I think, was definitely the MVP, definitely the standout. That's why I put that as number 1. He knocked out of the park, and I think he fit the role very well. I don't know if they will have him come back at the end of the film. After the credits, they do hint that he's alive, but will they have him come back? I don't know. I guess that's gonna have to wait and see. I would be interested in a Shadow the Hedgehog movie. I mean, they did a video game, but there's been no word on that, so again, whether that comes about, I know they're doing a Sonic 4, but again, who knows what's all going to be in it. You can make guesses, but Keanu Reeves, number 1. Number 2, the voice actors of the other characters, including Ben Schwartz. Especially Ben Schwartz, I want to give him specific shout out because I do think he is a great fit for Sonic. He has that sense of humor, he has that sarcastic ability with his dialogue, but also he can implement some warmth. It's interesting when he's also the voice of Leonardo in that Rise of the TMNT show. Now, and I will admit with that show, I have watched clips of that show, and I've actually liked what I've seen. So I wonder if I ever go back, because I only saw like the first 3 episodes years and years ago. That might be a show that might grow on me, and that might be because I saw that Rise of the TMNT movie and was kind of impressed. Because I liked it a lot more than that Mutant Mayhem dog shit movie. And while, on a side note, it may not be my Ninja Turtles, is that how I view them, as something that's supposed to be kind of different, it might actually seem like fun for a kid's cartoon, if that makes sense. Like doing well what Mutant Mayhem tried to do and failed. But that's a whole other tangent. But yeah, Ben Schwartz, I think, doing a knockout job as Sonic. Tails, I forget her name. I know she voiced Tails in the games, as well as Idris Elba's Knuckles. They do wonderful work as well. I think they will work well together, and they're a good fit for those characters. So that's number 2. Number 3, just to show a scene that worked well, an action set piece. Shadow, showing how powerful he is, showing that he's a force to be reckoned with. So you have an opening, not that he's that opening, but in the midst of the opening, him fighting the soldiers, much like Nightcrawler and X-Men 2. Now granted, that had much more epic music, and I do think if you implemented more of an epic music in this scene, it would have worked even better. But just the teleporting idea, the way it's shot, the way it's implemented, I thought it was a good way, good first impression to show, oh, okay, this guy means business. Very cool. So I think it's a nice way to open up your film. Number 4, another solid action set piece, the motorcycle chase, where Sonic is using his speed, Shadow's using his motorcycle, they're going back and forth, he's shooting at Sonic. Neither looked too weak or too powerful. They looked on equal footing. That was nice to see, so it doesn't make Sonic look too much weak, too much of a pussy. Because sometimes people tend to overdo that early on, because we gotta make him so weak so that he'll overcome later on. But here is kind of a fair play. They're getting evenly matched until they go for it, and then the reveal is that he's handcuffed. So it doesn't, if you use wrestling terms, it doesn't kill your baby face, but it still sells your heel as a valid heel, if that makes sense. And it was a very fun sequence, and I'll also put that in this. It gives respect to, and to be fair, this should be his own thing, but it gives respect to its source material. The reason I'm putting this in the motorcycle bit is because, like Shadow, he did have the motorcycle, he did have a gun. Granted, they use a laser, like a pistol, instead of just actual bullets, probably to ease up on, for the kids and stuff. But there's plentiful moments throughout these 3 films, including this one, where if you're a fan of the games, certain Sonic poses that he does, I'm sure at the end when Sonic and Shadow, they're doing their super duper thing and they go across each other, I'm sure that's from the games. I'm not an expert on the games, but I could just tell, okay, that's a nod for the fans. Early on, when the 3 characters are doing their race and there's a goal, and when he goes through it, it spins, just like you would when you get to the goal at the end of the early Sonic games. When you get to the goal and it spins like that, that was a nice nod. So it definitely wants to give respect to its fan base and show that, hey, we're listening to you, we care about you, and I can appreciate that. Because not every director or company does that. Number 5, I do like that this movie focuses more on Team Sonic and Jim Carrey. Because let's face it, those are the 2 things that people like about this. Sonic and his company and Jim Carrey. People are not seeing these films for fucking James Marsden, or the girl that plays his wife, or the assortment of military people. So yes, they're in it, but they're in it, I don't want to say sparingly, but more so compared to the first 2. Or hell, I should say less so than in the first 2. They're in the film. And they're used more sparingly is what I meant to say compared with the first 2. And I do appreciate that. There's no scenes that feel like it went on for 20 minutes where we're away from Sonic and his team. It definitely feels like these characters are front and center as they should. They are propelling the story as they should. There's not a big frame of time that goes by without Sonic and his company on the screen. Now, I'm sure they're less willing to do that because the more they're on screen, the more money it costs. But people want to see what they paid for. And they did give that to people here. And the Team Sonic, I do like the moments. I do like the little moments they showcase of them as a family, whether it be the race that they have at the beginning, which is a way of getting Sonic away to show his, not quite birthday, but the anniversary of when he came to Earth. Now, with that said, I don't know how much time it's been from part 2 to part 3. I'm not 100% sure on that. I couldn't find info on that. So if you know, let me know. From the end of part 2 to the beginning of part 3, how much time has spanned? Feel free to let me know. I'm not 100% sure on that. But, there's that moment which was cute. There's the moment after the first battle they lost against Shadow. They're at this place in Japan, and they're making fun of Tails because these kids call him Pikachu. So I thought that was a funny moment where they agree, yes, you do look like a Pokemon. And then Tails has this look on his face. That's very funny. This flashback about movie night that they had, and they saw Casper, and Idris Elba's character was scared and almost broke the other two's hands off. Moments like that, they give a sense of the family unit, gives a sense of they've done stuff other than what we've seen in the movie, that they've lived a life in between movies. I would like to have seen even more of that. Yes, it's hard to put that into the movie without derailing the plot, but still it's nice to see those moments. So having more of that focus was appreciated. Same with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey has done a great job in all 3 films. What I'm afraid is that with the new films, they're going to try to fit Jim Carrey in there some way, some form. I think they're going to be too scared to do a film without Jim Carrey in it, because they feel that it'll hurt them. I do feel you have to take the chance to do a film without him in it, because Jim Carrey's not always going to be there. Well, I guess if you pay him enough, he could, but there's got to be other threats. There's got to be other endeavors for Sonic and company. At least for me. But still, with Jim, he's still pretty damn entertaining. Number 6, the emotional bits between Maria and Shadow. From what I understand, that is pretty much like the game. From what I've heard, they stuck with the game fairly closely with that. I thought there was some really nice emotional bits that got you in the heart there, where it shows them bonding with each other, shows them having fun with each other, shows the care they have for each other, and then eventually her death. That, coupled with Keanu Reeves' performance, I thought made the character much more understandable, a little bit richer for it. And it's definitely one of the moments I think people appreciate when they watch a film like this, when they played the game back to the day that first showcased that backstory. And it's not Oscar-worthy. It's not, what was that film? Ordinary People, back to the day that Robert Redford directed. It's nothing like that. But it's a Sonic film at the end of the day. I know what I'm getting into. But I definitely felt this had the best emotional core of the 3. The first 2 had it. This, I thought, had it the best. And those bits of backstory really helped. Number 7, I thought it did a good job raising the stakes, where there's the moment where Shadow hurts Tom, and then you see the anger and the hostility Sonic has, the fact he's ready to fight Knuckles. He goes in, technically not, but metaphorically guns a-blazing, wanting to take on Shadow. That's a good way to raise his stakes. It's a good way to see him that pissed off, that angry, that upset. I remember joking, like, oh, they should kill off James Marsden's character. Well, they almost did. Of course, they're not going to go that far out, as it'd be deemed too dark, too violent for ultimately still a family film. Although there is a character that dies, I always forget his name, the military guy in Japan when they're having that, I always forget what the hell that place is called in Japan, and the little drones come in, and he eventually dies. So that's another way of raising the stakes. Someone has died because of it. The other Jim Carrey's ready to annihilate the whole world, so he's even more evil than regular Robotnik. And with the character Hurt, that does mean a lot to Sonic. You understand his anger, and it's another different thing to show of Sonic. Do things a little bit different, do things a little bit so you're not repeating the same pattern as before. And that was nice to see. Gives a bit of interest for the third act to see what will happen next. I don't know what you could do after this, unless you do kill off a character, but they'll never do that. I'm talking about a main character. I mean, what are they going to do? Put Tails in a coma or something? So it's like, what more can you do? Hey, they put Raphael in a coma in the 1999 Ninja Turtles film, but that's the 90s, I feel like that guy in Suburban Commando. This is the 90s. We're going to sue you. So they're not going to do that. But, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what they could do next. Number 8, the set piece of Super Sonic versus Super Shadow. You can tell they definitely try to do stuff to really get the fans excited. Bringing back Super Sonic, that was a highlight that people enjoyed in the second movie. Okay, not only that, but you had Super Shadow. And so big fans would be like, oh shit, I didn't think they would go that route, wow. And then they have this Dragon Ball Z Superman type of fight. They even steal a shot from Man of Steel where Son is doing these punches. Now, I do wish the fight was longer. I do wish the fight was extended. I do think the fight was a bit too short. But I do like the way it was shot. I love the fuck you uppercut that he gives the Shadow. Gives you a badass moment with Sonic. Done in slow-mo. Using different angles. Uppercut him so damn hard, got him to the moon. Like the honeymooners. To the moon, Alice, the moon. But I do wish the fight was longer. But what I saw, it was still cool to see. And then on top of that, after some words and some wisdom, you have the team up, where now they're working together. But this felt more natural compared to Batman v Superman or Godzilla vs. Kong. Like this one, because of the backstory with Maria and Shadow, because you've built that up throughout the movie, it wasn't just, what's your mom's first name? That's my mom's first name. I know I beat the shit out of you with a toilet, but... So it just worked better here. And then they work together and they fight the robots. It's a fun scene. Once again, I will say, I do wish it was a bit longer. And that's one critique I will have with the film. I do think the action scenes, for the most part, they always end a bit too quickly. I'm not saying these would go on 30 minutes like a Michael Bay Transformers film. But I do wish they were a tad longer. Sometimes they feel they end a bit too quickly. But what's there is fun to see. And that's the other thing I liked about that is that team up bit. That was number 9. And number 10, I thought it was a nice ending to Robotnik. Now, it won't be the ending. They're going to bring back Jim Carrey in some way, some shape, some form, because they feel like, hey, the audience does care for Jim Carrey. He's very funny in these movies. And they're like, well, we can't kill him off. I will say, though, it is a nice ending to the character. Despite him being a villain, he finally does something right. He finally does something heroic. He has a nice, sweet goodbye with his assistant, where he admits that, hey, I love how you make that latte. Calling him his friend. That's a very sweet moment. It's a hell of a way to go out. It's hard to go out bigger and better than that. And they said they won't keep it. You know they won't keep it. But I'm just saying, if they did, which they won't, but if they did, it's a nice ending to the character. Now, like I said, are there complaints? Sure. I wish, like I said, the action scenes were a bit longer. The music score, I think, could be a bit better at times, a bit more memorable. Even if it's just using even more music from the movies. I mean, from the games. Hell, Sonic 3, the game had music of Michael Jackson. It would have been nice to hear some of that stuff. But you know, if they tried, it'd be like, how could you get Michael Jackson in this kid's film? He touched kids. That'd be such a headache. I can guarantee you. Someone thought, hey, Sonic 3 game had it. Let's put it in the Sonic 3 movie. Nah, we don't want to have that heartache and headache. I wish for more Tails and Knuckles. When they were there, it was cool to see, but again, I mean, that's the thing. They're in it throughout for most of it. And that's what I like, is that they're there with Sonic, or they exchange dialogue, or they're there, tied, the three tied together, they gotta escape, they're planning together. So it's not running time. It's not runtime that I mean. It's just have a bit more to do, if that makes sense. Whether maybe we could start implementing other bad guys, so now this is someone Tails can deal with, this is someone Knuckles can deal with, and maybe like each one of them are dealing with this, and then they can work together on the big bad. Something like that. I don't know how else to put it. I do wish we could see environments from the game, because I think those are an appeal. Is some of those early games, how unique, like Casino World, how unique those environments are, but I don't think that's ever going to happen, because they would go, well, how do we implement that into the plot and make somewhat sense? I don't know, if you start implementing different dimensions, like where Amy at the end here came from, maybe that could be the case, I don't know. And last critique, James Marsden fucking sucks. I don't like him as a person. Anytime this movie, just like the complaints, I like the music. Okay, it's a complaint I have, but I could deal with it. Tails and Knuckles, they're in it throughout it, so that's nice. Yeah, I wish they had a bit more to do, but still, it's a caveat I have of it. The environments, I know that's a tough order. So you just say, if legitimate complaints, I wish the actresses were a bit longer. And James Marsden, the only time I really rolled my eyes is when thankfully he's not in the movie a lot, but him and his stupid puppet that he has, him talking, him wearing the outfit with all the donuts on it. I wish Shadow had killed his sorry ass. I know they would never do that, but it's like, kill his sorry ass. Someone's going to ask real quick, well, why do you not like James Marsden? I'll go on this tangent. There's a Nickelodeon documentary, the Nickelodeon documentary called Quiet on Set, about all the weird, crappy things that happen on those Nickelodeon shows. Well, what happened with that was, this guy named Peck did stuff to one of the actors from Drake and Josh. Drake Bell. people wrote in defending Peck. One of them was James Marsden. And then they asked him about it or tried to, and he decided to go incognito and silent. Probably because he had nothing to say. Because he knows he fucked up. And he wants some of that more Sonic money. Just what else is he doing? These films are paychecks he get. He doesn't want to screw that up. Well, you fucked up. So maybe you should. I wish they would fire his ass. I do. I know that's cancel culture. I know, but he deserves it. Fuck him. Fuck James Marsden. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. I would spit in his face if he was in front of me. I said, that's for upholding a pedo. A proven one. Unlike Michael Jackson, which I don't think has been proven. This guy, Peck, was proven. So, anyway, that's a whole tangent there. But anyway, the film itself, with these Sonic films, like I said, they do respect the fan base. They do try to give what the fans want. Give them, like, these moments and these epic moments and these Easter eggs, and you just tell there's a love of the franchise when you see these three films. Whether you yourself enjoy them, that's fine. They're not, the best movies of all time. They're not going to be in, the top 10 favorite films of all time list for me. But for a top 10 of those years, sure. I mean, I don't think I did a top 10 favorite films of 2024. Would it be on there? Yes. I don't know where, but it would be on there. It was fun. It was entertaining. At times it was funny. At times you had some cool bits of action. And it still held up. Watch it again. Still held up fairly well. So, yeah, we'll see how the fourth one comes about. We'll see if the fourth one will succeed. I never did see that Knuckles TV show because all I've heard bad things is that Knuckles is barely in it, which makes sense because it's a TV show, so they're not going to have as much money as a movie, and those CGI characters cost money each minute and each second they're on screen. So, there you go. Thanks for watching. Take care. Yeah, we'll see how it goes with whenever the next one is about. I think they put a release date 2027, I think. We'll see how it goes. I look forward to it. I do. I would say one last thing, like what I would like for them to do. Limit James Marsden even more. Give Tails and Knuckles a bit more to do physically. Some maybe physical, or maybe one or both of them have a certain rival that they gotta deal with. Give a little bit more Tails backstory. That'd be nice. Because we don't really know much about Tails. So it'd be nice to give him a little bit of backstory. That maybe Sonic could help his friend Tails, and then Tails gets his moment to shine as a hero. Like, elements of that could be cool to see. It'd be nice to see, I mean, technically it was a new villain in this, but it was still Jim Carrey. It'd be nice to see, like, a completely different type of villain. And done well, of course. But we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.